All right. Hey guys, this is Angel, and we're here with the Academy Presents Real Estate Investing Rocks. And today, Keri is going to be sharing with us some of the effective ways to work with a virtual assistant, or a VA, as you may have heard them called. It really helps lighten the load so that you can be much more focused on your business, and it really helps you level up. So, Keri, if you could talk with us a little bit about this, it would be awesome.
Wonderful. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I hope some of you are going to find some value in this. I'm not an expert by no means, but I wanted to let you know kind of my experience in the last couple of months. I've had a VA since May 1st through Elevate, and he has dramatically changed my life. So I wanted to be able to share that with everyone. And especially as women, I'm assuming that the majority of the followers on this channel are women, maybe not all of them, but we have so many plates to juggle. And as a matter of fact, everyone does, men and women. Typically, when you're investing in multifamily, you have other things going on. And so when you have the opportunity to, increase the hours that you're working by hiring someone virtually that is better at the task than you may be or may not be, but can get it done as effectively, it just makes a lot of sense. So let me tell you a little bit about me and how I came into this space. I began investing in 2006 in the residential real estate as using rentals. We did a few flips, and we quickly turned those rentals into owner finance properties.
Oh, cool.
We then started purchasing commercial shopping centers. That's what Rich Dad, Poor Dad said to do. Buy 5 houses, sell them, and go up. And so that's what we did. I'm a rule follower, and so that's how we kind of expanded our portfolio. We then started doing some raw land development, and we began multifamily, or I began educating myself about multifamily in the beginning of 2018. Our first investment, multifamily investment property, was in November of 2019, and I joined Elevate quickly after that. As primarily, I'm good at raising capital, and so that was my job. I knew that I needed to be part of a team to be on the GP, and so I shared, the things that I like to do, and that's create content and work on marketing and things like that. And so they brought me on as a partner in the end of November 2019, and I've been working with them ever since. Now, my task list had grown significantly. There was a lot of things that weren't being addressed on the team, not because they weren't doing them, but because you can't do it all, right? And so they brought me on to do some of the things that they didn't have time to do. They being the Elevate team that was in existence before I came on board. They needed someone to redesign their website. They needed someone to help grow their social media, to create content, to help with the meetup organization and just making those things happen. And to develop a sponsorship program. And I told them I can do those things. I did those things for a few months and was quickly drowning in the task at hand. Social media, I know all of you know that is a huge task to do. And
Elevate's not just on one platform. Y'all are on like every platform.
Yes, and I was not a social media expert either, so I was trying to learn and also just get the brand out as much as I possibly could. And, George kept telling me, if you need help, let's hire a VA. And, being a perfectionistic person that I am, I've always thought that I have to do things myself to get it done right. And that has been definitely to my detriment. I gave in because George set up interviews. He knew that I needed help. I was overwhelmed. And he set up the interviews with, we happened to use a team out of, a VA selection company. I know a lot of people say not to go that route because it's more expensive to do that. but it saved us a ton of time because we used Rocket Station. They were able to vet VAs for us that had the skill set that we needed to build and to do the tasks that we needed them to do. So they pulled, I can't remember if we interviewed 3 or 4, but we did interviews the same day, back to back. We asked them, pointed questions about the tasks that we were needing them to do. And then one of them stood out to us very quickly, that he was the one we wanted to try. And I will tell you, before I go into exactly what he does for us, I wanted to let you know that he has been a machine. And I don't know if y'all have been following Elevate, but the content, he is putting out a ton of content. Now I'm having to feed him the content to put out, but he is building the platform. I mean, he is building the platforms, he's the followers. He is creating videos using the content that I give him, and he's doing it very quickly. They tend to, virtual assistants, the people that I've talked to that have them, they say that they want to please you and they will work overtime to get things done on time. No matter what it takes, they'll get it done. And that has definitely been our experience.
No, y'all are pushing out just massive amounts of content right now, just massive,
yes.
ebooks and white papers and just so much. I assumed it was you. I was like, holy cow, she's putting out a bunch of stuff.
Well, I'm writing the content and the blogs and that kind of thing, but he is taking the content that I'm writing and creating posts with that content. And I'm giving him just different ways to where to find the targeted audience that we're looking for. And he is doing an amazing job. It took him a couple of weeks to understand what we did. And there's still a few things that he's trying to get kind of understanding of how syndication works so that he can better promote things, but he is doing an incredible job. And it's funny, we get on our weekly calls and he is encouraging us, please engage in our post, help me push them out. And so it's not something that you can just drop and not be involved in, but I can write the content, he can put it out, he schedules it, it gets posted every day on time and in the right order, and it's just amazing. I can tell you, if you would like, kind of what all he does for us.
Absolutely.
And what we plan to hire VAs for in the future. Now, he's not doing everything yet, but we have a great plan, and we will have to have more than one, but until we get him maxed out, we're going to keep on pushing content to him. He loves it. He's doing a great job. One thing that I would like to share, excuse me if I'm looking off to the side, I'm having to read my presentation, but when you hire a VA, one thing that you want, Neil Bawa, I heard a podcast that he gave that highly suggested that you ask them during the interview process, that you ask them kind of off the wall questions that you wouldn't typically ask someone in an interview, to see how quick of a thinker they are, and to make sure that their responses are not rote, because they do so many interviews. But just to make sure that they can problem solve and make sure that they, are quick thinkers, and that their accent doesn't fall apart when you're asking those questions. So just wanted to give you that suggestion, because I think it's a great one. You want to make sure that they have good internet, make sure that their internet connection is a fast enough speed. All the technology is above me, but it is very important that they can connect with you when you need to connect with them, and that they're, getting content, like to do videos and editing and stuff like that. They have to have a great computer and things. You want to make sure that you want to make sure they have a noise canceling headset, especially if they're doing any calling. We don't have ours doing this yet, but if they're doing any kind of customer service or investor relations type things, you want to make sure that they don't have crazy background noise or anything like that. Now, ours is from the Philippines, and he works 8 to 5 Central Time. which is middle of the night for him. So his house is very quiet while he's working because everyone's sleeping. But that's something else too, that you want to make sure that they're not expecting flex hours when you hire them full time, that they are willing to work the time, whatever's local to you during your working hours so that you can communicate with each other. Let's see, we use Slack for our in-house communication, our team communication. So when his name is Jude, when he has a question, he posted in Slack, and I watch it during the day. I get a notification and I can answer his question. So anytime he has a question, which is very rare, will he bother me? He knows I'm busy, and he always apologizes when he asks me a question, but I'm there. And Slack is a great communication tool for that. We use Asana for all of our tasks that we are assigning to him. And that way we can see when he has something that's for approval. I approve everything that he puts out. I've missed a couple of things that needed to be corrected, but that happens. But he and Angel actually caught one of them. Thank you, Angel.
I try not to like blast it out when I see something. I try to send it nonchalantly.
Yes, that was awesome. I know I totally missed it. I missed spelling on one of our banner pages, but anyway, those things are going to happen, but he can correct those very quickly through our communication through Slack. I can see the things that need to be approved. I can do that quickly using Asana, and I can assign new tasks to him using Asana. So a lot of people ask, or one fear that I had before we hired a virtual assistant was that I would be having to do more work because I was having to basically babysit somebody that was doing my job. And that was, I guess, my misconception, because that is not the case. I give him a task to do, and he does it way better and way more detail than I could ever even dream to do because of the technology that he is so much better at. But he also has been able to give me suggestions on what he thinks that we need him to do, which has been very interesting and very helpful. So I love that about it. He's given us some really cool suggestions on ways to increase engagement and ways to make things look better. We have, let's see, what else do I need to? We very rarely email because things get lost in email. So all of our communications through Slack. So at any point, any team member can get on and see kind of what's going on and knows what's going on within the team. We have him every morning when he reports to work at 8 o'clock. He sends us a beginning of the day report of what he's going to work on that day. And then at the end of the day, when he logs off, he sends us an end of the day report of everything that he got accomplished. And we have adopted this within our team. So each one of our team members is doing their very best to put into Slack what their priorities are for the day, and how at the end of the day, what did you get done, and how would you rank your productivity for the day? And it's been a great tool. We definitely need to get better at it and more consistent at it, but it is a great way for your team to know what everyone's working on at all times. So if you don't mind, I'll share with you kind of what all he does or is working on for us.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Okay. So originally when we hired him, the main focus was to take videos such as podcast or any just property tours, any meetup videos that we had, and create content using those videos to edit them down. That's something that I don't know how to do. So we had a lot of videos stacking up in our Google Drive that hadn't been used for any type of content because we didn't have someone to edit the videos. So Jude has taken our videos and created content with them. He's cut them down into shorter links so that we can use them on Instagram and Facebook and those things too. He has also made our YouTube, if you're not following us on YouTube, we would love for you to do that, but he's made our YouTube channel look much more presentable than I was able to do. as well as our Facebook, and our, well, all platforms, but our website as well. The main thing that I was wanting him to do, that I was taking a lot of time doing, was creating content and scheduling it. And then I was manually posting everything because I wasn't using a scheduling software like Hootsuite or anything like that. But they are very good at that. And it took him 2 weeks to have an entire month, the first month done, which he was learning what we wanted done and what type of content we wanted on each day. And, we didn't want everything to be all quotes, but that the different strategies for each day. Took him 2 weeks. He had an entire month done. The second month, which was starting in June, before June 1st, he had the entire month of June already done. So the second 2 weeks that he worked for us, he created an entire month's worth of content, and that included videos almost every day. So just a machine. He's putting out incredible content, and it looks really good.
Wow. That's a lot. That's like,
it is.
I'm astounded by getting a month's worth of content out there, because that's one of the things that I think is just really hard as an individual, is making sure that I've got content coming out all the time. And then some days I'm just like, what am I going to put out? And I can't think of what to do. And then I start falling off the face, because that algorithm, you got to be posting every day.
Yes,
exactly. Then I start losing my reach, and it's just like, holy moly, it's more than a full-time job.
Absolutely. Well, and not only was he putting out content every day on every platform, which we do, LinkedIn, Facebook. We have a business page and personal pages for LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. We have a Facebook group, and I feel like I'm forgetting something. And then our blog. But
y'all are on Twitter too, aren't you?
No, we're not on Twitter.
You're not on Twitter, okay.
We might add that, but he is not only doing one piece of content each day, he's doing 3 pieces of content for every platform, and he has that done for the whole month. So it's incredible amount of content that he is, and he's not, as far as I know, he's not reusing any content yet, because he wants to space that out. Like, he's not reposting an old post or anything yet. Now, he is using the same piece of content for all the platforms, but posting 3 times a day is incredible. It's just extremely overwhelming to me, and took me forever to get done. And it was not near the quality of what he's doing. So please don't hesitate if you need to hire a VA, because now I'm able to focus on writing the content, and he can develop the content into posts and get it out into the world. And that has made a huge difference in our company.
How long did it take you to, so I've heard that it takes a little bit for your VA to learn your voice.
Yeah, I was real worried about that. And that it took him about 2 weeks. And he read a ton of content that I had written. He read our ebook that I had written, and he just very quickly, you would think, being from another country, that it'd be very difficult for them to speak in a way that makes sense to all of us. But he's actually way more eloquent than me, and can put things in words better than me. So I have been very humbled in the fact that I don't do everything the best. So it's best to rely on somebody that does this for a living and that knows how to copyright.
I won't even lie. For a woman, I know that I want to be doing everything because I want it done my way.
Yes.
And so getting used to that idea of, just because it's not my way doesn't mean it's not good.
Absolutely.
And being able to let go of the reins a little bit.
Yes. I would sit there for 5 or 10 minutes trying to think of what copy to put on a single post. And that's not very productive. So, he can take the content from the post and very eloquently write the copy quickly. And that's just what he's good at. Let's see here. So some of the things, so he's updating our website, which I did the website and I was pretty proud of it, but he has got some incredible ideas, and the things that he's adding to our website look amazing. We are going to be doing a membership site, which I've wanted to do since I joined Elevate. And And it's mainly just to have all of our content kind of in one place. It's categorized and easy to find for someone like me. When I first started learning, that would have been incredible to have. Anyway, he has some great ideas for that. And so we're working on that together. That's coming in the future. He's working on our SEO, like what was it called? Backlinking, different things to each other. So if we, in our blog post, he'll have a link to another article, or in Facebook, if there's a post, he'll link to a blog post. So there's the backlinks that help with SEO. Some of that's above my head, but he is working on that.
And that just means you get picked up on those Google searches, right?
That's correct. Yes. And then he is taking our raw videos, editing them, transcribing them, adding captions.
Oh, wow.
He turns those videos into micro content for Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Are you saying like, is he doing like the, what do you call that? The episode notes, the show notes?
No, we have not done that. We have not added show notes yet because we're not doing a podcast necessarily, but he is linking to, so if George is on, right now George is just guest, he's being a guest on other podcasts instead of doing his own. So what he's doing is linking to their blog, I'm sorry, their podcast for the show notes. But yeah, no, he's not doing that yet because we haven't gotten that far. Let's see, but that's something good to add. He is, let's see here, our YouTube channel, he was kind of rebranding it and making it look way more uniform, giving titles, things like that. He is posting on Bigger Pockets. That's the one I was forgetting a while ago, is Bigger Pockets. So he's taking our blogs and things and posting on Bigger Pockets. Handling our Facebook group, our Instagram, LinkedIn. Now, when I say handling, he's posting, and George, Eric, and I are engaging. So when there's an engaging question, we will respond on there as well. Now, Jude does also, but we, all of us are trying to answer the questions so that it's our voice, not just he's doing the copy, but we are answering the questions. If there's engagement, we're engaging with them, which this has freed us up to do that even in a better way.
So when he posts for y'all on different social media apps, is he like coming in with your login information so he appears to be you, or does he come in as a moderator?
He's posting as Elevate. So he is a moderator. He is what's the term? He's an admin on all of our platforms. But the admin, it shows up, I believe it shows up as Georgia Brew, like our Facebook group says Georgia Brew. Yeah. And then each of us, when we have something we want to post, we will also post as us onto the platform. So sometimes we're adding more content because we have something we want to share to the group or whatever. But then the team members are engaging in the post, if that makes sense. We're spending our time engaging instead of scheduling and posting.
Because if you've got your monthly content map and you're adding on top of that, it makes it look like even more content.
Yeah, absolutely. We're trying to get in front of more eyes. Let's see.
That's that Grant Cardone idea with, was it omniscient or omnipresent?
Omnipresent. Yep.
People think you're everywhere and they're like, what the heck?
Yes. But it frees us up to do things like write the Forbes articles and write new ebooks and create a membership site. And, I have plenty of time to do that now because Jude is taking all of this off of my plate. Let's see. Another thing that we are going to have a VA for in the near future is, and something to consider hiring a VA for, is to help with your CRM. Not necessarily on the organization of your CRM, but in the email marketing. So you want to make sure that you automate as much of that as you possibly can, and putting out like really good looking newsletters if you're going to do newsletters, or if you have investment opportunity that's being presented in a good way through your email marketing. So he is starting to help us with making those things look as professional as possible and as easy to read as possible and as engaging as possible. Let's see. What else do we have? So when we do, I'm not sure if everyone does this, but when we have a virtual meetup or a physical meetup, now everybody's doing everything virtually, we will send that out in an email. We will also put it on Facebook events, Eventbrite, LinkedIn events, and some of that can be very time consuming. And we do Facebook posts to promote it as well. So once we start doing those again in person, Jude will be able to help us to promote those events and to make sure that all of these tasks are completed, because it's so easy to forget to put it on Facebook events after putting it on,
Everything else.
On everything else. So it's good to have those checklists. And we do. I mean, we have standard operating procedures for each each event, but it's nice to have a VA be able to do those things for you that are just mindless tasks. The new offerings, he's created videos for us. He's created new posts for us. I'm not sure if y'all have seen the one we're doing now, but he's putting it out there everywhere, which is really nice.
That's the Isolabella?
Isabella. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I was saying it right. I know how it looks.
In Oklahoma City. Yeah. We're hoping to close it at the end of July. So he's been marketing that for us. One thing that I was not doing that has been really interesting is he is not only creating the content calendar for us to post, but post on a regular basis, but he's also tracking the metrics for our posts. So we will know what kind of posts do people want to see, what kind of posts have the most engagement, which ones do we want to reuse in the future, those kinds of things. So he is tracking our engagement on each platform and also on each post. So that's incredible and I don't even know how he's doing it, but he gives us a report every month, and so we know how much he's increased our likes. And I mean, it's incredible the number of followers. Like we went from 300 to 1,000 followers this month on a couple of different platforms. So it's
that's massive.
It is massive, and it's worth. We're paying him $10 an hour is what we're paying him, and you can get VAs from the Philippines much less than that. But we wanted somebody that was more of an admin assistant that kind of can do multiple things, and we were willing to pay a little bit more, and that's still an excellent price.
So I remember, I think it was at Best Ever, and Neil Bawa was saying in his presentation that like in his videos, he knows like down to the minute which one is getting the most engagement. And then he can take that minute or that slice and repurpose that content somewhere else because he knows that he already knows it's engaging. So if you're tracking those kind of metrics, you can repurpose the highest engaging content in multiple places and continue to grow your following. And that's awesome.
Yes. So that's where we're headed. We're trying to get enough data that we will be able to do that, I don't know that he is able to go that deep into one video to know which part of the video is most engaging, but I do know he knows the engagement on each video, which has been really eye-opening for all of us to know what kind of content we need to create more of.
Well, you're about to sell me on this because my goal is to have 2,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel by the end of summer. We might be in the 30s.
So you need a VA. I think my husband now is like, who else what other place could we use a VA? Because he has seen that it has 10x'd our productivity. I mean, it's just made things so much, we've gone so much quicker than if I'd been doing it myself.
Well, I'm just thinking of like that checklist of tasks. Like, did I post on my page? Did I create a personal page? Did I post on this group? Did I do this? Did I do this? And like, did I say, did I make sure I went through and said happy birthday to the people that mean something to me? It's like all of these steps that it's not that they're mindless, but it's that I can look at my list and still miss stuff.
Right.
And if I had someone else doing it and then I'm just checking it to make sure it gets done, then it's more likely that it's going to happen.
Yes, absolutely. Let's see, what else do we have here? The metrics. So we're following different types of metrics. We're following expertise metrics, which is basically like public relations, online endorsements, speaking engagements, those things. We're kind of, making sure that we're trending in the right direction. We're getting, more offers to speak, more offers to be on podcasts, things like that. We're tracking our impact metrics, which is our inbound leads, the opportunities, like with our CRM, deal flow, like are we getting more deal flow? Are we getting new investors? Are our existing investors staying with us and investing with us on the second time? So we're tracking all of these things. We're tracking our brand growth, our brand profitability. Now it's going to take time. We've only had him for 2 months, but the data is building. And so it's very exciting that we will, in 6 months, we can look back at these things and see, are we trending in the right direction? Are we growing as quickly as we want to be growing? Do we need to add, where do we need to make improvement?
Yeah, well, like when you're wanting to monetize specific pieces of this right here, I'm looking at 6 different metrics you've talked about so far. When you're looking at monetizing those pieces, it makes so much sense to be looking at those metrics. And that's,
yes, absolutely.
I would have never even thought about it like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And just to make sure that you're putting out what people want to see, and that your brand is being shed in a good light. You want to make sure that those things are corrected. And if there's something that's not working, then you need to pivot and change and do what is working. Okay, I think that's about it. And the one thing that I wanted to tell you is we have 2, and you can do this however you want to do it. At the first 2 weeks, we met every day on a virtual Zoom call. It wasn't Zoom, but it was Google Meets. But we would meet every day for just a chit chat. So him and I could talk, and I could understand what he needed from me, and he could understand what I needed from him. And then after 2 weeks, we went to twice a week because he totally understood what I needed him to do. And I just wanted him to do the work. We didn't need to have a conversation anymore. So that was very much quicker than I thought. When you use a company like Rocket Station, they also hold the VA accountable. So we did have a once a week call with, his name is JoJo from Rocket Station. He's his supervisor. And I would meet with JoJo, and he would basically have me give a review to Jude and find out, is he showing up on time? Is he letting me know when he takes a break? Is he getting things, meeting our expectations? And that was really nice too, that he is also accountable to someone else. And I know a lot of people say that you don't want that, because then if they quit Rocket Station, if you train a VA and they quit Rocket Station, then you lose that VA because, they're not working directly for you. And I know Neil says that once he hires someone full-time, he has them remove all other job postings. And that's one thing Rocket Station does. If you hire them full-time, then they work for you only. So that is nice. I mean, we know we have his full attention, and they ensure that it stays that way. But they do have to be a full-time employee to do that. Now we hired him for a 2-week trial at the beginning, and he was not full-time, he was part-time. And I'm trying to remember how many hours a week. I want to say he worked 20 hours a week the first 2 weeks, and he was able to complete a whole month's worth of social media. So, I mean, it's incredible what they can do. And we just call him the machine now, because he's just pumping out. Anytime we have something that we can't get to. The other day, George wanted a blog post written about something, and he sent it to me, and I was not able to get to it. And Jude said, well, I'll take a stab at it. And he wrote a blog off of an article that George had sent, and it was pretty dang good. I had to go back and fix some of the grammar stuff to sound American, but it was pretty good. So who knows, we may be able to give him some content and have him summarize content for us before long. So it will 10x, if not, for me, it's more than 10x my productivity. So and freed me up to do things that I'm better at, and that's, coming up with content, writing content. So it's exciting, and I encourage everyone to try it. Give it a try, and I hope that you will try it, Angel.
Well, honestly, to me, because I'm an economist first, and when I think about it, it's like when you think about like comparative advantage, so you got like absolute advantage and comparative advantage. Absolute advantage means I do it better than you. I produce more units in the same amount of time. And like if you're comparing two goods, in both goods, no matter what. But there's always going to be that comparative advantage where you can do something better than me in terms of the other good that I'm producing.
Right.
And so it's kind of like, why am I going to mow my own yard and potentially get hurt when I can hire somebody for less than what I consider my hour to be valued at?
Absolutely.
And save myself that time to work on something that I'm better suited for. So that's, yeah. I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay.
It was game changing for me. And it sure was a limiting belief that I had that it wasn't going to get done right unless I did it myself, because he has totally proved to me that he can do it better than me and much quicker than me. So why am I doing it?
So, you kept talking about Slack. I am not familiar with Slack. What is that?
It's, well, I'm pretty new to it. We've been using it, I guess, 3 months. We used it about a month before we hired Jude, and he organized it for us. But so within Slack, it's really a team communication. You can, I think, have multiple Slack channels that have so you can use, I can use a Slack channel for my family, and I can use a Slack channel for my business, or each business that we have. If you want to do that, you invite people to your Slack channel, and it's basically a texting app. Kind of, except it organizes everything in channels. So we have a channel that's, if I can remember them all, we have a marketing channel. We have a general channel that's just communication back and forth. We have social media channel. We have a promotions channel, and we try to keep our communication categorized so that if we need to go back and find something, we're not searching through our phone through endless text messages, not knowing, is it a group message or was it an individual message? It's all there in the Slack channel, and we can find those links. So you can also post links to websites or really anything. You can post pictures in there. You can videos. You can add video links to Slack channel. So it kind of organizes everything for you. I know it does way more than what I just told you it does, but it's a great place. Now, one thing that Jude did also that I didn't mention is we wanted to make sure that once we paid him to create this content for us, these posts, the images, and the copy, that we had all of that stored in one place, so that if we didn't keep him or he didn't stay working for us, that we didn't lose all of that content that we had paid for. So he set up a Zapier for every post goes into our marketing, our social media. I think it's our social media Slack channel. So we have every post is in there, and he also makes a copy and puts it in our Google Drive. So that's something very important to think about, especially if you have a VA creating content for you and you're not doing it yourself, to have a backup of it somewhere so that you're not having to go back through your social channels, especially if you're tracking metrics that we talked about earlier. And you want to—
I'm like scribbling notes. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not just like looking off screen doing other stuff. I'm like scribbling down these notes because so a lot of the times these episodes are like selfish to me because it's something I want to know about.
Oh, that's okay. We're all learning, right? Every day.
People do too.
Yeah, and I'm sure that others are know way more about this than I do, but this has just been our experience, and it's been a good one. And so I'm glad I was able to share it with whoever was able to listen. But maybe it's something I need to write a blog about.
Well, yeah, to break, because you hear a lot of people talk about it. Maybe they own a VA company or they've been doing it forever. And so when they speak about it, they forget what they learned along the way sometimes. And so they're speaking about it up here where some of us want to know, like, wait, what is Slack? What are you talking about? And it's less intimidating to ask someone that like hasn't been doing it for 3 decades and owns a company that finds VAs for people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, Slack has been a a really good thing for us to implement. Slack and Asana both. Now, it took me a lot of time the week before we hired Jude to get the Asana set up, all the tasks set up. Now, Jude has come in and organized it for me in a way that he can use, which was amazing, that he just knows so much about that tool. I guess that's one that a lot of VAs use. I think there's Trello. Trello is another one that is similar to
Trello
Asana.
boards or
I think there's other ones too, but Asana is super easy to use. If I can use it, anybody can use it. But it just makes it really nice to know exactly what's going on and where deals are in the, across the board. So is it being worked? Is it in progress, or is it completed? Is it posted? We can see all of that there. And that's another place that each one of the posts are put. So we have them 3 different places. I don't think we're going to lose any of them. It's probably a little bit of an overkill, but we wanted to make sure that, those valuable assets are retained to elevate.
Okay. So do you have, I assume it's more so at the beginning, you really have to, I can't think of a better way to say, spoon feed, but does a VA get to the point where they're more self-led, they know what you're looking for and they're able to just kind of almost predict what you need?
I think we'll get there. For now, we were wanting to make sure, because I guess when you're doing content for passive investors, you want to make sure that the content is focused on, this is a great example. So in the very beginning, he knew we were a real estate company that bought assets and that we syndicated those, the purchases. He did some videos that had a lot of residential houses in it because he just didn't know. So, and he did some quotes that had quotes for all real estate investors. It wasn't specific to multifamily. So you do kind of have to guide and direct them in the right direction and let them know, this video looks great, but let's focus it more on, we want to keep it multifamily focused. We want to keep it passive investor focused or active investor focused or whatever your focus is. And, so that they understand. And it takes a little bit of time. Now he's starting to find content other places that that's also targeting our target audience. And he's able to take, for example, definitions. So what is a syndication, or what is a CRM, or what is passive income? He's able to find that information other places and create content that educate the investor about what that is. So without me having to spoon feed those things to him. And I did do that in the beginning, but now he's finding things on his own. And he's also listened to so many videos now and so many podcasts that George has done that he's learned it, and I think it just takes a little bit of time, but I mean, we're 7 weeks in, and he is pretty much on his own. I mean, he does a great job without very few questions a week. I mean, I bet he asks me less than 10 questions a week.
Wow.
About something. So
yeah. So I watched a webinar. It was Adam Adams, and he was talking about VAs also. Mm-hmm. And he talked a little bit about how you interact with your VA. Mm-hmm. And so he, I can't remember exactly how it went down, but I thought about myself, and sometimes I'm kind of short and blunt, and I don't think I am, but other people think I am. And they'll be like, well, that's a little abrasive. And I don't think it is at all.
I'm gonna be that way too.
So have you had any issues where he felt like you were maybe not necessarily being mean, but just being really blunt, and you had to retrace that?
Yeah. So there's been a couple of times that there was something that wasn't done exactly right or wasn't worded correctly or something, and we would correct him, and he would apologize for 3 days about the mistake he made, that, because they want to please you. They want to please you. And it wasn't even anything bad. It was something we totally didn't tell him, and I can't even remember exactly what, I can't give you an example, but yeah, they want to please you. And one thing you do want to do if you have a VA is to praise them often. If they're doing a good job, let them know they're doing a good job, because they want to please you so much that they will work overtime to get the job done. Because they love to hear that especially when they're working under another company like Rocket Station, they get bonuses and things based off of their reviews and their performance. So when Rocket Station hears that we are extremely pleased with the work that Jude is doing, he gets bonuses and things. So it's important to, pat them on the back when they deserve it, especially and when they don't, when they've done something incorrect, just correct them and let them know that it's okay. It's something I didn't tell you or whatever, not that they're super sensitive or anything like that. It's just, they want to please you so bad that they will apologize for 3 days.
Well, I'm just, sometimes I'm really American as far as just being not crass, but just blunt.
Sure.
To the point. And I don't know what the cultural acceptance is, but at the same time, to get a VA from the US is like exponentially more expensive.
It is.
And so
it is. Yeah. And, I think a lot of people say that you will have issues with them showing up to work sometimes and from the Philippine VAs because of weather and things. We've had one, I think the second week that Jude worked for us, they had a typhoon and he has a generator that at his home that he was able to do his work, but he was unable to get on the call with us because it would use all the juice from his generator. I'm not sure how that works, but anyway, so there was one time that we've had that, but he worked the whole entire weekend, the next weekend, to make up for the day that his internet was down because of a storm. So, we have had no problem. He shows up at 8:00. He lets me know when he has a bathroom break. He lets me know when he has a coffee break, which is very rare. He just wants me to know that if I try to ask him a question or text him, that he's not at his computer for that 5 minutes, or taking a 15-minute break or whatever. And so he's been excellent. We've been very pleased.
Yeah, well, I've heard nothing but amazing things about VAs from the Philippines, just the work ethic and the attention to detail. And I was talking to a couple of friends yesterday because we're looking at doing a project together. And I was like, hey, I'm a big picture thinker all day long, but I miss all of the details to make the big picture happen. But I've got crazy ideas that, some of them are like truly amazing, but I don't always stop and think about all the little pieces that it's going to take to get there. And so I usually need someone on my team that is incredibly detail oriented because I'm not.
Well, when George told me he wanted to hire a VA to help me out because he knew I had too much on my plate, he really wanted me raising capital and not creating content. He wanted me creating content, but not posting taking so much time to post the content. When he told me that, I spent about a week getting everything that I do written down in bullets, and categorized. And it was shocking to see how much of that I was like, I really don't have to do this. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do this. But getting it written down like that and put into Asana, I actually told him, I think I can do this now. I actually think I can do this without a VA because I actually put everything in my brain on paper. And now I have a standard operating procedure for each one of these things that I'm doing. And, we want to get to the point where all of those standard operating procedures are videoed. So we can take the video, like a screencast or something, and send it to the VA and say, now, will you do this for me? Or hire a new VA to do, the other things that I'm still doing. And they know how to do it because there's a video.
It'd be like your onboarding video. That would be crazy awesome.
Yeah. So we've got big dreams, and I'm like you. I think of all these things that would be awesome to have and value that I could add to Elevate. And now we just have to do them. But writing everything down that you do in a day or in a week is incredible to see. It makes you realize, no wonder I'm kind of crazy. No wonder I'm not sleeping at night. I've got a lot going on.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, and when you can delegate some of those things to someone that does it better than you, why not?
Yeah, so
for a very affordable price.
Yeah, you were saying that you went through a company, like Rocket. What did you say?
Rocket Station is the one, and we used them because Eric has a VA, a personal VA that he has through Rocket Station, and has had very good results from that, and so that's why we went that direction. We were just wanting someone quick and didn't want to think about it. I know there's multiple platforms that you can hire a VA from. Upwork, I think, Fiverr. There's several. We chose Rocket Station. They're actually a VA hiring company, so they're making part of the money. Jude's not making all the money we're paying him, which I hate that, but he's also accountable to them as well as to us, and it seems to work. And we feel like we're definitely getting enough value for what we're paying.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine not using a company, because I wouldn't even know where to start. I mean,
yeah, my daughter does wholesaling, and she has 5 VAs, and she did them. She ordered them. She hired them all through Upwork, and she had to do like 100 interviews to find 5 people. We didn't have to do that because we used a company that sourced the VAs that were good for the job that we were wanting, and picked their top 3 or 4. I think it might have been 4, and we interviewed them all within an hour. I think it might have been an hour and a half, and one stood out very quickly, and we, hired him. That was probably rare occurrence that it was that easy, but I think Rocket Station made it easy for us.
Yeah, well, I know, like, again, in that interview or the webinar where Adam was talking, I want to say that he narrows them down to like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So, and I know Frank Pedolano also has a VA company, and I would assume his is probably similar. If Frank is watching and I got that wrong, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I think that that's kind of a goal, is once they know what tasks you're looking to cover, they try and weed it out too, and siphon it down so that you're not interviewing 100 people.
Yeah. It helped. I mean, it made the process a lot less of a headache for us. And I feel like we're getting way more than we're paying for. So it's definitely worth looking into.
Yeah. Now
For
that
sure.
company, do you pay for the services monthly to the company, or is it like 6 months or 12 months, or how does that work?
I think you can do it multiple ways. I didn't do that part, so I can't answer that directly, but I believe that it's a monthly draw.
Okay.
I could be wrong. It may be weekly. I don't know. I don't pay him, so.
Yeah, well, but I'm just thinking, like,
Eric's in charge of that.
that would just be, I mean, I don't know, that just being it, I guess my fear would be that you have them for 6 months and then they're gone.
Yeah, that would be so sad.
Well, and that's why I would think that it would be better to go with a company as opposed to going to Fiverr or Upwork or something that I think would be more of a short-term solution.
Well, it might be harder to keep them from being diverse, like doing different jobs for different people. I could be wrong. I think Neil uses Upwork, and he requires them to take their name off of all other job postings as once they're full-time, which I'm sure you can do that too. But I know Rocket Station makes sure of that for us, and that's nice. But Jude is 100% focused on what we want to accomplish. So I recommend using a company, whether it's Rocket Station or some of the others. I know there's several different ones that are good. That's just the one that we used.
Yeah, that's just awesome. I'm sitting here, I'm just thinking, somebody could edit all these videos. Because I'm so not good at it.
Yeah.
But the idea of them of a VA writing copy is just, that's awesome too, because even if you have to go back through and clean it up, you still, it's like wiping down the plate after the entree's put on it. I mean, like, they do the same thing.
Well, and once you've made, like, they spell it, there's a couple of words that they spell different, like realize, they spell different than, like, they, instead of a Z, they use a S.
Yeah, that Queen's English or.
Yeah. And so there's some, I've corrected that a couple of times for him, and I'm sure I've missed some too, but once you correct it for them and let them know, they don't make the mistake twice. I mean, typically, or he hasn't. I mean, it's just incredible. I'm just in awe, really. and I've actually grown really, fond of him, and I enjoy our visits with, I enjoy asking how he is and how his family is, and he really cares and wants to please, and it's very fun. I do have a fun story for all of your Facebook watchers. I have to tell you this. I'm probably going to embarrass myself, but it was quite funny. So it was probably week 3, and I was running around crazy and got dressed, and I sat down to do our weekly call with Jude, and it was just me and Jude at that point. No, actually, I think, no, it was just me and Jude. It was me and Jude. I flip it up. I'm having our conversation, and I see that his face is really red, and he's distracted, extremely distracted. And I'm confused. I'm like, I was kind of trying to figure it out. And I realized that I looked at my picture, and I realized that it looked like I didn't have any clothes on, because I had a tank top, a tube top, like a jumpsuit that didn't have sleeves. And my computer was only showing from here up.
Oh, how funny.
And so I adjusted my screen. I didn't say anything. It kind of embarrassed me too. And I kind of adjusted my screen like this, and and then it looked like my romper had like ratted kind of top. It was frayed, whatever, right here. So it looked like a towel.
Oh, no.
And I said, dude, I promise I have clothes on. See? And he got so embarrassed. For like 3 different meetings, he was so embarrassed. And he said, I didn't know, Miss Keri. I just didn't know.
Oh, but that's awesome, though. That's really funny.
Yeah. Comic relief. But you do want to, when you do these virtual things, you got to pay attention to what's behind you. And,
Well, I'll be honest. I usually worry about what's waist up. So half the time when I do videos or I do summits, I'm in pajama bottoms.
Yeah.
Because I want to be comfortable, because I'm probably sitting cross-legged, or I'm moving my legs around, or just because when you do these things, you want to be comfortable. Because if you're tugging at your clothes or pulling or yucky.
Well, I thought that was quite funny.
That is
awesome. I would think about that now before I get on a Zoom call. Make sure that I have clothes up from the chest up.
Yeah, so that people can tell that there's something there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. That poor guy.
I know, it was so sad. George and Eric and John thought it was hilarious that I did that.
Yeah, that would be funny. That would be a really funny story to tell years from now.
Yeah, I'll probably be telling that on stage someday. Maybe.
Yeah, but just I want to thank you for coming on and sharing about your experience. I'm pretty won over right now, because just the video part of it would be.
Yes, definitely you need to do that. Editing videos is no fun unless you're really good at it.
And I'm not. But just my goal is to have 2,000 subscribers by the end of summer. And it's going to happen, but how much easier would it be for that to happen? Because I've got somebody that's what they're good at, and they can make it eye-catching, and they can keep up with the metrics and be like, hey, people want to see this, not this.
Yes. Well, and it gives you time to do the engaging. It gives you time to be the voice of your company instead of being the creator of the image.
That's like the difference between working your business and working on your business and working in your business.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, something's got to give.
Angel, thank you so much for having me. I hope I added value and a little bit of entertainment with the story. But anytime you need someone, I'd love to help out. So I know that you have some incredible guests on your show. So you're doing a great job. I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you. Well, we've got
lots of value.
We've got something special coming up in July. It's me and Peely Rusi and Liz Faircloth, and
ooh, wonderful.
Keep your ears open and your eyes open.
I absolutely will.
It is definitely coming up. So
awesome. Thanks, Angel, for having me.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. So everybody, let's see. I'm gonna